What time is it? Okay, we have some fabulous live music later on, but right now, here's the kind I prefer.
What's up? This is your boy Styles here with WestCoastStyles.com YouTube channel, the OG WCR. And today we got cover in the house. We got young Javi up in the house, and we're gonna go
Yo,
ahead and introduce
yo.
him and let you guys find out more about him and his full new career that he's got going on. Where is he at? There he is. Young
Yo,
Javi, man.
yo,
Thanks
what's
for
good,
joining us
man?
today,
What's
bro. How are
poppin'?
you?
Yo, I'm good, G. How about you?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Thanks for joining us.
Of
We
course.
recently premiered your music on the site. Shody Bumpin'.
Yeah,
Yo.
Shotty
So why don't you
bumping,
tell us
bro.
about the new song, man? What's up with that
Well, I
song,
mean,
man? Shody Bumpin'.
so Shotty bumping is basically just really talk about my early like high school life when I was into really just the party scene, just wanted to be a part of the parties and shit, bro, and just every weekend hitting up with the homies and stuff, and just either making parties happen or just getting all the freaking addies that we could and just party hopping all fucking weekend. Or even if it was on the weekday, if we didn't have a lot of homework, we'd be doing that shit. And it was just a really appealing lifestyle, you know what I mean? Especially when you're young and you're a little stupid, you know what I mean? Like drinking and alcohol, drugs, fucking it's just it's all there, and then having, of course, your shotty for the night to bring back, you know what I mean? It all seems like such a fun lifestyle, but at the end of
Yeah.
the day, when you get older, you really truly see that it just costs you money, and you don't really remember any of those old friendships, you know what I mean? It's just there wasn't really you had else much in common with the people that you met there. It was just
Yeah.
partying, and you end up you get tired of it, you know what I mean? You don't end up seeing those people no
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. But it does sound like a fun song though. I took a listen to
Right.
it and I was like, yeah, this is I could listen to this on the radio or something.
Oh
Uh
yeah.
you
Well,
know what
I
I
was trying
mean?
to give it that fun vibe, because it really was something exciting. It was something new that I got into that shit really young. Like, I not so much big parties, but I did start like partying around like sixth, seventh grade. Going to like little kickbacks and shit with like older friends and stuff. I was always cool with like older people and shit, so I was able to go to that stuff real young. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like but in freshman year, like that's when the big party started happening, and that's when it really started kicking in. Parents would leave and shit for the weekend, somebody's house was free, and that shit was turned. And it was a whole different level. It was a lot of fun. But
Wow.
yeah.
Hey, so where are you from? Like, what part of LA are you from?
Well, actually, I'm not from LA. A lot of people, I feel like I have the LA vibe, you know what I mean? But
Okay.
I actually was originally from Palm Springs. And like
Oh,
I grew
okay.
up out there in the middle of the freaking desert, you know what I mean? There was nothing
Uh-huh.
really out there to do. So I mean, the first thing was like partying, you know what I mean? Everybody else is either in gangs or they were partying all weekend, because all out there is just either desert, old people in pools, or golf courses, So
Hmm.
that shit was
Yeah.
it was trip, man.
Yeah. So, growing up, what did you listen to?
Definitely, a lot of old school, hip hop, reggae, a lot of old school alternative rock and punk and metal. My mom was pretty open to a lot of things, so she'd always have the radio blast in, whenever. So I really had an open ear to a lot of genres, and I really enjoyed a lot of genres. But I definitely
Hmm.
think that rock and hip hop are the main genres that spoke to me.
Hmm. Well,
Definitely,
name me some acts.
huh?
Name me some acts.
For sure. I guess for definitely for rock, because I enjoy that. System
Hmm.
of a Down is probably like my
Okay.
number one band for sure. Like just how their storytelling and how they bring a song together, and I love their live performances, like, and how they're different from the actual song, and like it just really gives that like evolving, like the level that they need, to really express to the fans what that song really means. It's something that really touches them in live when when you're listening to the headphones, it sounds different and it feels different from, you know, when you actually see them. Even on YouTube, it seems and sounds different. And that's like something that I really want with my live performances. So it's something that I really study and I take note on. Another rock band though that I really fuck heavy with is definitely Five Finger Death Punch. I feel like a lot of people don't really know them, but I think they're really underrated, and they're also really good at storytelling. And I like their just raw aggression every time they do a track. Like Wrong Side of Heaven's my favorite song from them, The Bleeding, two very like, you know, really raw and emotional songs. And I try to bring that to my rock and hip hop, you know, mix up songs that I do.
What about rap? What about hip hop?
And rap, of course, you know, Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, my big three right there. You know, that was what my mom really kind of grew me up on. And then besides that, you know, I really got into underground when I was in, you know, freshman year. Like, you know, since SoundCloud came out, listening to, you know, Lil Uzi Vert, listening to Playboy Cardi, Pimp Toby, listening to what's it called, Lil Yachty, of course. And, you know, just XXXTentacion, Ski Mask, you know, all those kind of rappers that were grouped up right when SoundCloud dropped. You know, everybody was kind of on that freshman year, like 8th grade, around that time. So hopped on that wave too. So I kind of got my whole ear on that and everything. I like to mix the old school with the new school, and everybody seems to kind of do that, you know, nowadays. So yeah, it's a nice mix.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, you sound like a rock head and a rap head. Why did you choose rap over rock for your career?
Well, with rap, you could really do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You have more free reign over kind of what you do, because you can really mix whatever you want with rap and with hip hop. You know what I mean? You can mix whatever genre you want with it, or create your own genre. You know what I mean? Actually, have been trying to create a new style of, you know, hip hop and rap. I went to New York and I did a drill song, because I feel like drill just died completely, you know, right after Pop Smoke. I feel like, you know, there's still a lot of people that are doing it, but I feel like it could have expanded, you know, after, you know, Pop Smoke. You know, he really brought it to a level where it could really expand. And I feel like people can, you know, start taking their own, you know, styles and put their other genres into it, you know what I mean, and really expand upon it. So I'm going to call it emo drill, and like, you know, do like some punk kind of drill type of vibe and see how that goes. But I've already done a track up there and it's been going along pretty well. I'm going to finish up my second verse in the next week or so. So it's something new.
So you're actually going to mix drill and punk together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or like kind of like, I want to give like little almost like Lil Peep vibes, you know what I mean? Like heavy guitars with a drill type, you know, bass to it. You know what I mean? And just it's honestly been really good. And then, you know, it's the soft, heavy, like raspy vocals, you know. I love to fuck around with my voice and just, you know, see what I can do. I feel like for every track that I've done, it's really like a new voice for me. Like every single time I find something new that I can do with my voice or with the ad libs, or there's so many crazy things you could do with auto-tune and all the effects and plugins that you have. And, you know, I'm not embarrassed to say that auto-tune fucking saves my ass for sure. You know what I mean? Like that shit is amazing. You know, it honestly opens up so much like potential for so many people that are not experienced as other people in singing, and it shows them their potential. You know what I mean? Because I do practice and shit, and I do get better. But auto-tune, you know, it really shows you like your potential, and you know, it shows you like the cool shit that you can do with your voice. And new effects are coming out every day. And I don't think a song should be limited to what your voice can only do. You know what I mean? If there's stuff that can help your voice and, you know, program that, they're around for a reason, you know what I mean? To give you a fuller sound and to give you a cooler sound. And that's something that, you know, someone wants to hear in the headphones, you know what I mean? It's different from something live.
Well, you know, there is a segment of the audience that does shit on auto-tune and be like, you know what? Oh man, this auto-tune shit and that auto-tune crap, and you know.
Well, I mean, I feel like it all goes down to your knowledge of, you know, certain musical aspects too, you know what I mean? If you know how to harmonize properly. Luckily, when I was younger, I was able to play, you know, piano from a really young age. My mom kind of signed me up, and drums. So I have an ear for that shit. And I'm able to almost match melodies. Like I can hear it in like, almost like piano keys being played, and I hear that shit.
Well,
I can
that's good.
feel it
Okay.
through my vocals. You know what I mean? It's almost like it was just made for me to do. And I've
Yeah.
been in bands before growing up when I was younger, and I've helped, you know, people songwrite, not so much, you know, for myself, just so much for them, more for them. And I don't know, I feel like I could just really expand on that. So that's why I really got into it. I just feel like
Yeah.
there's so much from my past that I could bring into it and just take all the good stuff that I learned and then just keep on going on.
Well, personally, I like it if it's done right. You know what I mean? I like it if someone like does take the time to actually put some art behind it and put some creativity behind it. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, personally, that's how I feel about it. You know, so I think that's dope that that you're actually experimenting with it and trying to do something creative with it instead of just the same old shit that everybody else is trying to do. So.
Exactly. And I feel a huge thing that I try to expand upon. I mean, I feel like sometimes people like they think once they do the track one time, it's done. You know what I mean? Like I have gone back through my tracks so many times, man. Like Shoddy Bumpin' honestly was probably one of the toughest tracks that I had. I fucking hated that track when I first did it. Like
Mhm.
I have like 4 or 5 different versions of that track.
Mhm.
And yeah, the first time I hated it, second time I hated it, third time I was with it, and then fourth time we were so close, and then fifth time I nailed it, and then it was good.
Mhm. Okay. Well, with that track, you kind of came had a smooth vibe to it. So
Right.
on your other tracks, you're gonna have like a raspier
Mm-hmm.
tone with it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
also have like, I do have like a somewhat kind of singing voice, like I can yell kind of sing, you know what I mean? Like that talk or that um, almost like the Juice WRLD kind of thing, you know what I mean? Where he projects his voice almost, then it's really loud, you know, it sounds like almost like the rap singing, you know what I mean? But it's more emotional. I don't know.
Mhm.
That's how I feel about it at least. But yeah, just that natural raw yelling. I can kind of sing with it too. I also have like a metal type screaming voice. You know, I do some metal shit for some people. Just more so for backgrounds and stuff. But I do like to play around with my vocals as much as I can and see how, crazy I can really take my vocals. I can do really high shit like Playboy Cardi. I've done the high
Yeah.
vocals. My next track that I'm going to drop November 27th, I have some crazy high freaking vocals on those, like some Playboy Cardi type stuff, like the angelic, I wanted to give some angelic vibes in it. So
Mhm. What's coming up on November 27th? What track is that?
Make the Cut, and that's a track I did with Buddha Bless. And yeah, that track's gonna be great. I went over to Atlanta for a little bit and I met up with him over there, had the
Mhm.
grateful opportunity to, meet up with him, just right off the bat. I don't even know. Ruben's amazing, secured that for me. And
Mhm.
it was honestly a really humbling experience because, like where he's coming from, you know what I mean? He was really chill and really respectful about everything, got everything done like really timely, and it was just really smooth. And the track, honestly, um, it's kind of funny because I was looking for a beat because I had those lyrics done for that track for about 3 years now. And I originally did it with my homie that 3 years back, but he upgraded all his shit and lost the
Mhm.
files. So I was waiting for a beat for so long. And I think it was like the first or second track Buddha Bless played for me. And it was perfect for it. And I was just like, yo, I got a whole song ready for this. Let me get in the studio. And like everybody was like, yo, what the, like, are you serious? Like a whole track. I was like, yeah, just let me get in the studio right now. Like, let's do this one. Like it's a perfect tempo and everything from the original track that I did it, the original
Mhm.
vocals on. So it was so great. I
Okay.
think it was fate.
Do you look to be working with anybody out here in LA from the West Coast with any of your music?
Oh yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Like I definitely have, some producers, in mind. Um I really want to make for right now, especially in the place that I am in though, because I don't want to limit anything. I mean, one of my favorite producers that I really want to work with, I'll just say one because he's my dream producer to work with, is Chop Squad DJ. I think he's out here. I don't know if he's out here. I haven't really um, dug into him too much. I just love his beats and I hear his, you could hear it's like DJ on the beat, so it's a banger. Like you hear that tag so often, you know what I mean? And I always love his melodical tracks. So that's somebody that I would really love to work with. But besides that, like I really try to keep it with local producers in my area that I grew up with, kind of working. My homie Santiago, I work with a lot. Santiago Romero, he's really dope. I'm gonna be doing the next couple of tracks with him, and then a couple local producers around here. Another one is called Free Candy. They're like a duo group. Ours and then Chris Walter, like they're cool. I'm gonna work with them and do a couple of tracks with them, but I really just want to keep it kind of local for right now until I get myself to a certain level, you know. But if anybody's open to, you know, work with me, like I'm down. But just my whole thing is like I don't really ask to be, you know, paid for anything. I don't really pay anybody except, you know, if they're, you know, working on their own time. But if we're coming in to make a track, you know, like everybody's on there on their own time, you know what I mean? And I really love that because I feel like it's really organic and it's a lot. I feel like the song comes out a lot better, you know what I mean? Because there's no money on anybody's mind, you know, there's no side, you know, and nothing distracting them, you know what I mean? Because I've had that shit. And songs don't come out the same like that, you know what I mean? I have to go back and I have to do it myself, you know what I mean? Or, you know, I just don't. It doesn't feel right, you know what I mean? The vibe doesn't feel right anymore if like there's money on other people's minds and shit. So, I mean, if anybody's like, you know, open to work like that and they see the potential, you know, then I'm with it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and that's what I like to see, you know what I mean? And there have been people that, you know, have shown me that, you know what I mean? But besides that, if I'm working with, you know, a producer that, you know, my team thinks that's good in mind, you know, I'll do that. And I'm more so look for that because I feel like they have a better eye for who they think I'm going to work best with because, you know, they have a better knowledge of that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, let's say you have a wish list of collaborations. What is your wish list? What does it look like?
Like more so producers or artists?
No, yeah, or it could be producers or artists, you know, collaborations. Like, what's your wish list?
Well, I mean, for artists, I feel like it's weird because I really love to work with System of Down. Not so much even if it's a song, but I would love to sit down with Serge Tankian. He's the main singer for System of a Down, and just write a song with him. You know what I mean? And just really see kind of like his process of how he writes his songs. I feel like it would be really dope. I would have loved to make a song with Linkin Park. He was also like, you know, a huge like influence on me growing up. I loved his music. Sadly, you know, like I can't anymore, but he was a really big influence on me. He was one of, you know, definitely a huge person I would want to make music with. I feel like Post Malone. I feel like a lot of people say like I got a Post Malone vibe on some of my songs. So I mean, like, and he looks like a fun dude to just chill with. You know what I mean? So I feel like we would vibe. I feel like it'd be dope. Lil Uzi Vert, because dude, our love for anime, bro. I know we would connect on the anime vibe, bro, and we would do some like crazy shit. I'm so into the anime stuff, bro, and I love seeing everything that he does and like how he incorporates it into everything, and like that's another thing that I want to do. I actually was working on I went to Jersey a little bit ago and I was working on like a anime intro track because I want to try to see if I can maybe get into like a show, you know what I mean? Almost like, you know, movie kind of soundtrack, you know, sounding, but, you know, English lyrics. I've seen it done on a couple times for some animes. So I'm going to see if I can just one day hopefully get that song up on there. But, you know, using the same styles of mixing so many fucking genres like the Japanese art, like musicians art and artists do, you know what I mean? Like they mix so many styles and they have so many influences. It's like classical, jazz, R&B, rap, you know, like it's so like big of a mix. Like it's really all over the place. So I worked with some pretty creative dudes down in Jersey and we were able to pull something off. So I'm really excited about that track too. But besides that, I feel like any rapper's dream is, you know, to work with Dr. Dre, and you know what I mean.
Hey,
I feel like my dreams are like just so big and high, but Kanye West, of course, too. I just want to see how Kanye West is, you know what I mean. I feel like just seeing like how creative his mind is, you know, through all the other bullshit, you know what I mean. You cannot deny, like he does have somewhat a creative mind. Like, there's
Yeah.
other shit that does hold him
Oh,
back.
there's no doubt about that.
You know what I mean? He does have a very creative mind, and I would just love to tap in even just a little bit to anybody that has like, that much of a creative mind, to where they got to that point. Jay-Z is another amazing example. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to, work with Jay-Z, and, Timbaland as well. Timbaland is another big influence I feel like I would love to work with.
Okay, well, those are some big names there, great names there, and very creative names. So that's pretty interesting. What about album wise? What do you work? Do you have an album coming out, or what?
Yeah, I have an album coming out. It's gonna be the weekend of Father's Day weekend, because it is dedicated to my dad. So I thought that would be like, a good time to drop it.
Father's Day of 21.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going that far out. All right.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
So you're just gonna be dropping music in between all that time, or
Yeah,
what?
I have a couple singles planned, and I have been working with other features on the side. People that have been very cool, and have seen kind of like the dream, and they see the potential in me, and they have opened up a inviting hand to let me in. And I worked with Nathan Raphael. His artist name is Oh My Lord, and Chris Walter and Hours. We did a song together, and I think that's going to be either the third or fourth single that I'm going to drop. And then I actually just recently worked with a boy band, alternative rock group called Peoria, and I did 3 tracks with them, and it was a really cool like sound. I thought it was a good idea once Ruben brought it up to me, just because how different the sounds were. I'm always just crazy about that shit. Like, if we sound completely different, I want to hear how that shit sounds. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Especially if Ruben hears it.
Before we end off, where can people check for you at?
They can check for my Instagram, at Really Young Javi, or The Really Young Javi. They can check for my website, which is thereallyyoungjavi.com, as well. They can go to check me out on Apple Music. I'm on Pandora, Spotify, almost every single online streaming platform. I'm on there. So yeah.
Okay, great.
Check me out.
Well, thanks for being our guest today. It was a very interesting story that you have, and we look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Tim.
All right, you have a wonderful night.
All right, you too, G. Peace.
Thank you.
What time is it? Okay, we have some fabulous live music later on, but right now, here's the kind I prefer.